Welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into something absolutely huge today. Because let's face it, in our modern world, global power isn't just measured by the square footage of the land you own anymore, or the physical natural resources you can dig out of the ground. Today, there's a completely different kind of asset. It's one you can't even see with the naked eye, yet it's single-handedly driving the entire global economy. So let's jump right in and explore the epic scale of how data is transforming our world, and specifically, how Saudi Arabia is mastering this new era of digital alchemy to transform into a global AI hub under Vision 2030.
You know, data scientists everywhere love to say data is the new oil. And honestly, it's a perfect analogy. Think about it. Data is this raw, unrefined resource that acts as the primary fuel for artificial intelligence and the whole fourth industrial revolution. But exactly like crude oil, it is essentially useless if it's just sitting there in a raw, unextracted state. It has to be carefully extracted, refined, and run through incredibly complex algorithms before you can unleash its actual power and drive any real technological advancement. And to really wrap our heads around the impact of this, we have to talk about scale. The sheer, awe-inspiring volume of information being generated globally every single year isn't measured in gigabytes or even terabytes anymore. It's measured in zettabytes. To put that into perspective, a single zettabyte is a trillion gigabytes. A trillion. We are talking about a massive, glowing ocean of information flowing through fiber optic cables and giant data centers all across the connected digital world, every single second of the day. Which brings us to a really thought-provoking question. What invisible resource is driving the modern global economy? Well, we know the answer is data. But dealing with a chaotic, overwhelming global explosion of information is one thing. Actually harnessing it to build a better future, that is something else entirely. Nations and organizations that can't corral this data are simply going to get swept away by the tide. So, to understand exactly how this is done, here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The wealth of the era, 2. Data governance in Vision 2030, 3. Projects of the future, and 4. Moving from data to smart decisions. Starting right off with Section 1, the wealth of the era, and how data became a strategic global asset. Think about Google, Apple, Microsoft. These tech giants didn't reach their absolute world-dominating status just by collecting massive piles of random information. No. They lead the world because they were the very first to realize that the true value of data lies in extracting actionable knowledge from it and using it to predict outcomes. Basically, they figured out how to refine the oil. Take Google. They don't just log what you search, they analyze that search data to predict global consumer trends and optimize massive ad networks. Apple uses ecosystem data to seamlessly integrate your experience across all your devices. Microsoft leverages enterprise data to power advanced AI for businesses all over the globe. They absolutely dominate because they know how to transform raw, chaotic inputs into precise, predictive intelligence. Okay, moving right along to Section 2, Data Governance under Saudi Vision 2030. Right now, Saudi Arabia is undergoing a massive paradigm shift. They are moving away from merely being a consumer of technology and aiming instead to become a true global data and AI hub by 2030. The leadership recognized early on that data shouldn't just be isolated files sitting on a dusty government server somewhere. Under Vision 2030, they made active data governance a foundational national pillar. It's a very deliberate strategic pivot to make sure data is actively utilized to make sound, predictive decisions and really drive a comprehensive digital transformation across every single sector of the economy. Now, to actually structure a shift this massive, Saudi Arabia established a highly rigorous ecosystem. You have the Saudi Data and AI Authority, or SDAI, leading the charge, and they're supported by the National Data Management Office and the Personal Data Protection Law. But what does that actually mean in practice? Well, SDAI doesn't just collect information. They actively govern it by standardizing data sets across dozens of different ministries. This means independent government bodies can actually communicate with each other securely and seamlessly. By enforcing these strict protocols and sovereignty laws, they moved from treating data as sort of an informal hobby to fiercely protecting and managing it as a vital governed national asset. And this governance isn't just high-level theory, it is incredibly practical. Platforms like the National Data Bank are actively elevating government spending efficiency and accelerating digital services on a daily basis. Because these data sets are standardized and interoperable, the government can easily optimize its operations. Think about the real-world impact for an everyday citizen. Thanks to this interoperability, you can use platforms like AppShare or Nafath to instantly verify your digital identity for a bank loan or a government service.
You don't have to fill out piles of redundant paperwork or drive across town to visit multiple physical offices anymore. The data is already there, it's securely managed, and it's ready to serve the citizen instantaneously.
Which brings us to Section 3, Projects of the Future, focusing heavily on AI and open data.
At the core of all of this is real-time data. This is the instantaneous flow of information that serves as the foundational lifeblood for predictive smart cities. And it is the exact engine driving Saudi Arabia's phenomenal megaprojects. We're talking about entire cities like Neom, Oxagon, and the Line. These aren't just architectural marvels. They are built from the ground up to be completely reliant on this real-time digital lifeblood. They are literally engineered to be cognitive cities that are constantly learning, adapting, and optimizing themselves based on a continuous flow of environmental and behavioral data.
And the ultimate goal of all of that? Anticipating human needs before they even happen. By utilizing AI-enhanced infrastructure, these cities represent a massive fundamental shift in urban living. Instead of a city just reacting to a problem, like a traffic bottleneck or a sudden power fluctuation, after it occurs, these cities use data to proactively predict and fulfill the needs of their citizens in advance. For example, in Neom, the power grid can automatically adjust energy distribution based on predictive weather patterns. Or autonomous transport systems can be rerouted in real time before traffic even has a chance to form. It's city management that is completely proactive rather than reactive.
And honestly, this incredibly bold strategy is working on the world stage. Saudi Arabia recently achieved the #1 global ranking in the AI Strategy Index. #1. Their intense focus and visionary approach to artificial intelligence isn't just some local success story. It is being recognized globally as the absolute top strategic framework out there. It's just a huge, clear validation that their heavy investment in this digital alchemy is paying off on a monumental scale. All right, moving to our final section, Part 4, From Data to Smart Decisions, or how we actually extract value from all this information. There is a crucial core lesson to everything we've talked about today. Raw data, on its own, it has absolutely zero value. It must be processed into structured information, analyzed to extract knowledge, and only then does it become actionable, smart decisions. You can have all the zettabytes in the world, but without the intelligent processing framework we've been discussing, you're literally just hoarding noise. The true alchemy lies in the transformation, mining those raw numbers to discover the intelligent patterns that ultimately drive human progress. So, what do those smart decisions actually look like for everyday citizens? Well, they translate directly into things like better preventive healthcare, highly targeted education, diverse economies, and sustainable AI-driven cities. A smart healthcare system can predict outbreaks before they spread. Targeted education platforms can adapt to a student's unique learning pace in real time. This is the big lesson Saudi Arabia is offering the world right now. You manage a nation and build a thriving society through intelligence, foresight, and governed data, not by coincidence or guesswork. The data is already here. The real question is your city ready to listen to it? Data is no longer some luxury technological add-on. It is the language of the future. And as we've seen today, under Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia is already speaking that language fluently. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this gave you a powerful new perspective on the invisible digital wealth that is quite literally shaping our world.